Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage and the Renault Clio Grandprix. I have been driving this car so much lately and I really love this car. It's brilliant, it's so much fun to drive and it almost feels like a luxury car for me because, well, take a look at my garage or my fleet. This got ABS, this got airbags, this got assisted steering and all that, so this is it's something else compared to a 2CV or a Trabant and all that. I like this car a whole lot. I have put it up for sale and I know those two statements doesn't really mix, but I own 7 cars at the moment. And unless I get a couple of 100 Patreons or 100,000 subscribers, I won't be able to pay for all these cars. So sometimes I will have to change something. And at the moment, this one is the one that is the first in line to go because summer is here. I can drive the A112 Abarth if needed. Yeah, it's a tough decision, but because this car is really cool. Anyway, I have been struggling with an issue on this that I made a video about a while back. The car tends to kick out of gear. I changed a dog bone engine mount underneath. That's a common issue. It helped quite a lot, but it didn't remove it entirely. Then I got an email from a guy called Damian Kasmarak. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but he made a video especially for me how to adjust the gearing because he had the same issue on a Renault 5 GT Turbo. I have been trying to adjust that. That made it a lot better again. But I had to go really far in the adjustment and I thought that was a bit weird. But today I think I have found the main issue. I haven't fixed it yet, but I think I know what the issue is. So let me show you what I found. And once again, Damien, thank you. That was a brilliant video. Let's take a look at it. So here we have the engine lump, the 1.8. And yes, I have been to a couple of classic car shows with this car lately. And yes, of course, when you own a car like this, you will always get the question, is it the Williams? And I'm actually a bit sad for this car that it has to live in that shadow because it's a brilliant car. I know the Williams is most likely a bit more brilliant. I haven't tried it. But this is a brilliant car and it shouldn't live in that shadow because even though it's only a 1.8 and not a 2.0, this is a powerful, extremely fun and really well handling car. But what I found out was I was actually beginning to check the engine mounts up here. Maybe there was something wrong with those, but then I took a hold of the engine and did like this. I don't know if it picks up on the video. And I'm actually a little bit embarrassed that I haven't noticed this earlier. I think I noticed it way back when I had the problem to begin with. And then I changed that dog bone down there. And yeah, I should have tried to wiggle the engine afterwards, but I apparently haven't done so because this is massive. And this gotta be from down there where the dog bone mounts. So let's take a look at that. Let's climb underneath the beast. Here we have that dog bone I was talking about. And that is what stabilizes the engine from that rocking motion that we just looked at. But apparently it didn't work, changing this. But now take a look at this up here. This is the mounting bracket that mounts the dog bone to the gearbox. Let me try to get a hold of the engine to rock it. This moves inside the bracket and it is completely loose. This is most likely what is causing all my issues. Here you can see the adjustment that I did after watching Damien's video and I have adjusted it very far out. I can move that back, I think, when I have tightened this up because this was just to compensate for the problem of this car kicking out of second gear. if I drove along in second gear and then released the throttle, then the engine would rock and pull it out of gear. Well, I don't know if this will fix the problem, but I'm pretty damn sure that it will, because it makes so much sense. So I'm going to tighten up this, adjust this back a little, and then I think we have this problem solved, and that would be so nice. Yeah, doing this one-handed is a bit difficult, but I'm going to tighten it up, and also the one up here, if you can see that, right up there, that is loose as well. I think, and it looks like it, that I am extremely lucky that this aluminum gearbox casing haven't cracked because of this movement, because that gotta put a lot of strength on that. But I think I have been lucky with that, so but I'm gonna tighten it up and then take you back. So I tighten up both of those nuts, and let me try to rock the engine the same way as before. It is rock solid. Oh, so much difference, of course. I also adjusted this one back in. This is it's not that it's difficult to adjust, but you have to take care, because just a slightly movement of this clockwise or anti-clockwise will change the location of the gears quite a lot, and you can very quickly remove the reverse gear, for instance, and then you suddenly have the first gear lying where the reverse gear is, or opposite, and that's not very good. So yeah, but I think we have fixed this problem. We have definitely fixed something. That's nice. Of course, I should have noticed this when I changed that dog bone back then. Sometimes it's just the very obvious things that is actually the problem, and not all the expensive parts. But yeah, you live, you learn. Anyway, I'm gonna take this for a quick test drive, and then wrap this video up and show you something else that I'm going to do some work on soon. Yeah, the Renault 5 GT Turbo is back in the garage. Well, let's just round that Renault Clio video up. I just test drove it. It is so much difference. There's almost no rocking of the gear selector anymore, and the movement of the engine block, of course, when accelerating and deaccelerating is gone as well. So it's a massive win. It is still possible to get it to kick out of second gear if you really try. And I think that is down to that adjustment. I adjusted it back, and maybe I went a bit too far, but it's quite difficult to make it do it now, and it wasn't before. So I think with some slight adjustment, that problem will be gone. We definitely fixed something on the Renault Clio, that's for sure. But that's the Renault GT Turbo that I built last year. Not last year, I think it's 2 years ago. Check the video series out if you haven't already. I bought this car as a non-runner. The engine turned out to be very broken. One of the pistons were actually cracked all the way through. It was running, even though the piston was cracked. It was not running very well though, but it was running. I took the engine completely apart and changed the crankshaft, the cylinder liners and pistons, conrods, everything almost on this engine was changed. And then, of course, like I always do, I ended up putting it up for sale. But lucky for me, one of my very good friends wanted to buy it. So we found a good price. And my friend also allowed me to lend it from time to time, which is a huge win. So, so it's no longer mine, but it's still going to come back to the garage from time to time. And I'm going to take it for a drive tomorrow, for instance, and that's so cool. I also need to do some work on it because the engine is leaking oil from a couple of places, and I think that I am to blame for that, of course, because I did build the engine. So I'm going to try to take a look at that. Tomorrow it's actually going to a real mechanic because there's something wrong with the not the toe in, but the traction, I think it's called. So someone with a laser is going to have to fix that up. Because of that, it has actually ruined one of the tires, actually both of the tires, and it's done that in under a year. It's amazing that we haven't noticed it, but the car is tracking completely fine, straight as an arrow. There's no issues there. There is a slight scrubbing sound going quickly around and around about, but we didn't really take note of that. But it has destroyed the inside of the tire on this, so it needs new tires. I can't do that. I haven't got a tire machine, and then it needs to be straightened up so it's tracking correctly, and I can't do that at the moment either. And then I'm going to take a look at those oil leaks and hopefully fix some of those. I think I know what one of them are, and the fix is hopefully here. The drain bag from the turbo, I can remember when I fitted that I shouldn't have fitted that. It was not good. So we're going to change that, and hopefully that will help. But anyway, thank you for watching this video, small video on the Clio. And I just wanted to show you that the Renault GT Turbo is in the garage at the moment. Some of you actually spotted it in the Trabant video from yesterday. So but let's take a quick look at it and see you in the next one. And remember, if you want, you can support me on Patreon. And if you know someone who would enjoy videos like these, then please notify them that I exist. But take a look at this beauty. It's so nice to have it back. It almost feels surreal that I owned this and that I rebuilt the engine. I can remember all the parts being everywhere in the garage. And yeah, it's just so nice to have it back. And also slightly sad because it's not mine. So how can someone own this and then just sell it? I really have to get my head checked one day. Anyway, see you in the next one.